Welcome back, everybody. Now today I'm back with a couple of items I found at the Walmart as seen on TV aisle. That includes the Cool 360, which is a gel pack for your neck, and the Mr. Beast Feastables lunchbox, which I do believe is an as seen on TV product, which I'll talk about later. But let's start with the Cool 360 and see how it actually works. Let's take a look at the Cool 360. I paid about 10 bucks for this. I didn't find much about this on Amazon. I had to go to the Walmart website and the packaging to find the claims. What they say uses cool gel technology to provide hours of cooling. They say just pop it in the refrigerator or cooler for a half an hour and you're good to go. They also say one size fits all. Stubborn packaging here. Get it out of here. All right, well, it feels very cheap. Oh, these are some very small instructions here. I did find a listing on Amazon with no ratings. I did find a Walmart listing and with only a few reviews, and they are all negative. Most people said it didn't last nearly as long as expected, sometimes only anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. Looking at the Cool 360 instructions here, it says to simply refrigerate for 30 minutes, and then you just put it around your neck, and you'll feel instantly 10 degrees cooler. They say it can be quickly refreshed in the freezer, refrigerator, or cooler. You can wash it off, and that's pretty much it. There's almost no instructions for this. So I'm gonna try their 30 minutes in the fridge first, and then if that doesn't work, I'll try freezing it and see what happens. All right, it's been 30 minutes, and I've just pulled it out of the fridge. Let's take a quick look. It looks like the coldest areas are in the low 50s, low 50s. So we're gonna stop this, reset it, and then go take this out for a real world test. I was about to go take a walk, but Bailey saw me put my shoes on. I felt kind of guilty, so I gotta throw a few balls to her first. But I'll give you my first impressions while I do that. Good girl. First impression is that it's pretty cool. It doesn't take up a very large area, so it's like, you know, it's pretty hot out here. I mean, I'm in the desert in the middle of June, so it's definitely hot. It feels nice right now. I'm really curious how long it's gonna last. So after I throw a few balls to Bailey, I'm gonna take a walk and try to check in after about 30 minutes and see how it's doing then. Woo, it's warm out here. So I'm at the 20-minute mark, and I do have some observations already. So up until the 10-minute mark of my walk, I was thinking, this feels pretty nice. It's nice and cold, comfortably cold. At the 10-minute mark, it started feeling not so cold anymore. Cool, but not cold. By the 15-minute mark, it was basically, there was no coldness whatsoever. And by the 20-minute mark, which is what it is right now, it actually fell to the point where it's kind of warm and sticky around my neck, so it's actually a detriment to wear. What I was also thinking is, I guess you could have two of these. You always rotate them, have one in the fridge at all times, and continue to go through them that way. If you're out and about, you can have one in a cooler and have one around your neck and just keep rotating. Maybe that will work. But man, I got maybe 15 minutes of cooling out of this. But this is the first test. This is the one where I just put it in the fridge for 30 minutes, like the directions state. What I'm gonna do next is go home and stick it in the freezer overnight, so it's much colder, hopefully, and see how much longer we get out of that. Because right now, 15 minutes really isn't that impressive. I mean, on the other hand, it's not electronic, you have to charge it, but 15 minutes, it's not very much. So I'm gonna head back home and not wear this around my neck because it's actually warm now. And then we'll start round 2 for tomorrow. All right, I've just pulled this out of the freezer. I just hit my stopwatch so we can keep an eye on how long it takes to warm up. It doesn't freeze solid. It's still kind of soft, and it's been in the freezer overnight, so it's not gonna get any colder than that. Speaking of cold, let's check the actual temperature here. It's 1 degree. It is much colder than when I just put it in the fridge for half an hour. Freezer overnight, huge difference. Let's go outside and see how long it lasts. My first impression out of the freezer is, whereas yesterday it was pleasantly cold out of the fridge, this is almost painfully cold out of the freezer. It's kind of uncomfortably cold around my neck. But that does bode well because it'll probably last longer. Maybe I put it kind of around my shirt instead of my neck. That's not too bad, but it's a big difference between the fridge and the freezer. But how long will it last? Let's find out. Once again, Bailey saw me getting my shoes on. I gotta throw a ball to her before I take a little walk. Come on, Bailey. Come on, Bailey. Come on, Bailey. What are we doing, Bailey? Let's go. Interestingly, around the 5-minute mark, it went from painfully cold to just cold, which is comfortably cold now. I'm about the 10-minute mark, and it still feels nice, although I can tell it's warming up kind of quickly. I'll be curious how long this one lasts compared to yesterday, which wasn't that long. I think part of my neck that it was touching initially is almost numb now, because it almost doesn't even feel anything. It was that cold, but once again, it's kind of starting to warm up, so We'll see. Something else kind of occurred to me is it's only about 1 inch in thickness is in contact with your neck. It'd be nice if they could make it wider and flatter maybe. It just seems like that would increase the cooling effect if it had more surface areas in contact with. Just 1 inch, not very much. All right, so I was only outside for about 20 minutes and it's already barely colder than room temperature. Check it out, 63 degrees. I don't think this is gonna last more. I mean, if in 20 minutes it goes from 1 degree to 60, it's gonna be room temperature in a few minutes. I don't know, kind of disappointed. Let's take a look at the Mr. Beast Feastables lunchbox. They say it's the world's coolest lunchbox. I don't know if they mean cool as in cold or cool as in cool. We'll find out. And I paid 20 bucks for this at Walmart. Now you might ask, why are you doing a Mr. Beast product in an As Seen on TV collection? That's because it technically is an As Seen on TV product. It was in the As Seen on TV aisle. As you can see here, it's put out by All Star Innovations, which is an As Seen on TV company. They've done things like the Snuggie, the Own Zone, Sharper Image. So this is basically an As Seen on TV product, so I'm treating it like one. Let's crack this open here. So I was looking online for information on this, and there really isn't a lot. I didn't see an Amazon listing. I did see one on Walmart. Now, there aren't really that many claims for it. They say it's the world's coolest collectible lunchbox, BPA free, includes a removable tray for easy cleaning, which is right here. And it is removable. They say it has a snap tight lid. The tray is not only removable, but also adjustable, so you can customize it for whatever snacks you put in there. I didn't really find any reviews on Amazon. There were some at Walmart, which were mostly positive. A few complaints talk about the size or durability, but what I'm gonna have to do here is read over these relatively small instructions and then get started. Let's take a look at this Mr. Beast lunchbox here. Now take a look inside of this. The way it has the compartments set up, it seems to be kind of following the lead of the most popular lunchbox on Amazon for kids, which is by Bentgo. That one has similar compartments. It looks a lot like this. The problem with those is that it has one big compartment that you can pretty much either put a main course like a sandwich or a drink, but not both. The old school lunchboxes I used to use when I was a kid had plenty of room, had a thermos. Even the ones my kid used to use, those kind of insulated ones, those also had enough room for a drink. This one, I'm not so sure. But the Bentgo I was looking at online is a little bit thicker, and it also includes utensils. This one doesn't, and that one has 5 compartments, and it's less expensive. On the other hand, that one doesn't have the cool Mr. Beast logo. But something I noticed is how thin this is. When you look at the height of it, it's not very tall. It's about 2 3/4, which most lunchboxes I've seen are about 4 inches, which may or may not be a problem. We'll find out soon enough. But something else I noticed is that there were no reviews for this on Amazon. There were some on Walmart. On Walmart, it has a 4.3 out of 5-star rating, which seems pretty good. But you'll notice that most of the good reviews were collected as part of promotion, which means those people got it for free. If you take out the promotional reviews and the last 6, which look kind of sketchy, they were just weird one-word reviews, you're left with 15 reviews, 5 of which are only 1 or 2 stars. So that makes you kind of wonder what's going on here. But let's test this out now, shall we? Now, the first thing I noticed is that the height is not very tall, like I said before. Now, I don't think a lot of people send soda to their school with their kids, but just in case you're wondering, it would not fit a soda can in there at all. You could fit something like a Capri Sun in there, but then it's like, where's the main course going to go? Then you only have 2 small compartments. So let's forget the drink. Let's just say the drink's not going to be included and we're just going to deal with it. Will it fit a sandwich in this compartment? I'm not even any Ziploc bag or anything. It will pretty closely fit a sandwich. It's kind of wedged in there. I'd almost rather cut it in half. Maybe I will. I think usually I'm a corner to corner guy, but in this case I think I should go straight across because it'll make it more flat, I believe. And by the way, I'm leaving this partition here out completely. Let's see, maybe we can do it this way. Oh yeah, I can do it that way. I can do it that way. Would you put it in a Ziploc bag or leave it like that? I think I would probably put it in a Ziploc bag. All right, so we've got our sandwich in there. I might have a little bit of room for something else in there now that I've cut the sandwich in half. What else can we squeeze in here? How about a package of crackers? That works. Probably want to have something like applesauce. Now I need a spoon for that. Can I fit a spoon in there? The spoon's really only going to go in this compartment. Can I squeeze it in there? Yes, I can. I could squeeze it in there. What if I want to have something like some loose peanuts or something? Going to go straight in there. That's kind of a lot. But we also want a dessert here. What can I do for dessert? Can I squeeze? I got some like fake Oreos I got at the dollar store. Can I put them right on the peanuts? Maybe. So I guess that's about it. It's not too bad. If you don't mind losing the space for the drink, it's not terrible. I would rather have the drink in there, but that's what I have to deal with. But let's close this up now. It is closing. And it feels pretty solid in there. My question, are those peanuts that are loose, are they gonna get out of their compartment? They're not supposed to. Let's see. Okay. All right, there's no peanuts out of the compartment. In fact, let me try one more time without this holding them in place. Now they're a little bit looser in there. Peanuts did not drift to a different compartment, so I think that seal did hold. Put that back in there. We are locked and loaded with my lunchbox. That's right, I'm ready to go. Here we go. All right, just finished my workout here. I got my Mr. Beast lunchbox here. I'm gonna have my lunch now. Here we go. And everything held up. Now that I think about it, without the drink in there, and by the way, I did just bring myself a bottle of water, but without a drink in there, there's quite a bit of food. I don't even know if I want to eat all that, but I will do my best. You know, on the way here, I was kind of thinking that, now this is really geared for little kids. I mean, the demographic for this product is not adults, so I have to keep that in mind. That's a lot of food for a little kid. I don't even know if I want to eat all that. I still had the problem of a lot of drinks not fitting in there, but I was thinking maybe if you just had half this sandwich, you could probably fit a juice box in there, so I don't know, you could probably make it work. It doesn't seem as small now that I've used it than when I was first looking at it before I used it. And I do think most kids will be happy to have their Mr. Beast lunchbox at school, so there's something to say about that. But it's time to start eating. It's time to start having my lunch here. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that I had to do my sandwich this way. I mean, it's you know, it's what you got to do. You got to work with what you got. I put the lunchbox in my fridge for about a half an hour before I left. I was in the gym for about an hour, and everything's still kind of cool inside. So maybe it's not insulated, but it did keep things relatively cool inside the lunchbox. So I don't think I want to sit here and eat on camera, nor do you probably want to watch me eat. I'll give you some additional thoughts after I'm done eating. All right, finished my lunch with my Mr. Beast lunchbox. I was just thinking, is it kind of weird a man in his 50s sitting alone in the parking lot eating lunch out of a Mr. Beast lunchbox? Maybe, but I got to test it out. Something else that came to mind, though, was that one of the complaints on Walmart was mainly the fact that it wasn't durable. People were complaining that these clips broke. So maybe I should go home and kind of simulate more extended use with those clips by just opening and closing over it again. Let's try that next. Now, I was looking at the Walmart listing for the Mr. Beast lunchbox, and there was two main areas of complaint. Number one is the size, which I've already discussed, and number two would be the durability. Some people say that there's a pin in here that falls out over time. So my thought is, how can I duplicate that? I'll just keep opening and closing it. So I was thinking, how many times a day do people typically open a lunchbox? I would say once to load it up, once to eat, and then once to empty the contents at the end of the day. 3 times a day. So if I open and close this 90 times, that will simulate about a month of use. So let's do that now. 90 times, starting now. 1, 2. You don't want me to show all this, do you? Let's speed these things up a little bit. 16, 17, 18, 45, halfway through. 58, 59, 60, 89, and 90. Well, in my month simulation, it held up. I don't really see the pin. I guess the pin is in there, people were talking about. I didn't have the problem, but that was only 1 month of simulation. I mean, I guess I could keep going, but I'm not going to. Something else I wanted to point out is I did wash this off with soapy water. It washed up nicely. It's just plastic, so easy to clean. I was also curious if one of the Mr. Beast Feastables bars would fit in there. Let's try that out. Oh, it does kind of fit. It doesn't fit flush. You can't push all the way down, it'll break, but it does kind of fit a Mr. Beast bar in there. I'm not sure if that was the plan, but it does fit. So let's talk about both these products, shall we? Now, first up, the Cool 360. I really think this would only work if you had several of them and you rotated them in and out of a cooler or something. Otherwise, you only get about 15 to 20 minutes of cooling, not good enough. I'd rather just use a cooling towel or a damp towel over this. Now, as far as the Mr. Beast lunchbox goes, I think this is one that kids are gonna love. Some parents may or may not. The only real issue to me is the size. It doesn't really have space for a main course and a drink. You kind of have to pick and choose. It's surprisingly heavy for the size, actually. I mean, even empty, it's kind of heavy. It does weigh over 1 pound, so a little bit heavier than I expected. I think some parents are probably gonna have an issue with the space, especially if you want some sort of a sandwich, a main course, and a drink. You might have to leave the drink out, which not all parents are gonna like. There are some complaints about durability. I'm not sure how those are gonna pan up long term, but to me, short term, it doesn't seem too bad. But I think most kids who get this lunchbox probably aren't gonna care about the cons. They're gonna be sporting their Mr. Beast lunchbox, and that's good enough for them. But that's all I've got. If you've tried the Cool 360 or the Mr. Beast lunchbox, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.